Olá, pessoal, tudo bem? Sejam bem-vindos aqui à nossa transmissão. Grande prazer estar com vocês aqui hoje. Um momento muito especial, um momento que eu vou trazer alguns rivais aqui que eu tive ao longo da minha carreira, e não poderia deixar de ser um grande rival que eu tive no âmbito internacional durante as competições. Vou trazer aqui o Alexander Popov, um grande competidor, um grande rival, e também um grande amigo. Então, espero que vocês curtam aí. A entrevista vai ser em português, em inglês, desculpa. Fiz a abertura aqui em português, mas a entrevista vai ser toda em inglês. Então, aproveitem aí, vai ser um momento muito legal. E a partir de agora, eu vou chamar aqui o nosso grande convidado, um grande rival que eu tive ao longo da minha carreira, com histórias interessantes, histórias bacanas, para que a gente possa realmente curtir. So, from now on, I'll speak in English to you guys to talk to this big man on campus, Alexander
Gustavo,
Popov. How are you, my friend?
very good to see you. I'm doing good. It's summertime in Russia, so it's fantastic.
Summertime. We're talking on the backstage, and I was like, Alex, how about we just go on live, because I think we're missing good stuff when we talk in the backstage, and we haven't talked in a while. And I was getting all the funny stories and all the funny things going on. And nice to have you here. That was great for you to be here.
Fantastic. Yeah, it's been a while since we've spoken and saw each other. That was let me remember. That was Rio, probably 4 years ago.
Yeah. But it seems like it was yesterday.
Well, there has been some time.
4 years.
Some time has passed. Yes.
What inspired me to call you and to get connected was Brad Hawk doing his interviews, inside with Brad Hawk, and it was nice to see you talking about rivalries and everything else. And I was like, oh man, I gotta talk to this guy. I mean, we've been through so many things together, inside and outside the water, because we've been together competing in the Olympics, and we're gonna talk about that. And also, we've been together in the commission for FINA, and also in leisure time doing things with our families. So it's a great connection. But let's start talking what you do today. What's going on in your life? I see you hurt your finger. Your finger is hurt? What's going on?
Well, you see, that's about as much movement as I have in my index finger. So I was doing some, I can that's why I can only use left hand now. I'm holding my phone with it, so that's why it might get a little bit shaky. You see, the skills that I've learned when I was a kid, like doing gardening and stuff, they've kind of they've been forgotten, and now I was trying to revive my skills, and I didn't succeed well.
Gardening. So you had those skills from when you were young? You used to garden?
My father taught me everything: gardening, foresting, you name it.
Oh wow! So you have a house. Yeah. It's about right outside Moscow, and you can do all of that, right?
It's about 70 kilometers away from Moscow, and we try to go there every weekend. But because of this pandemic thing, we've been sitting there since March the 24th, and been looking basically after our garden, like mowing the grass, veggies, dogs, pets, geese, chickens.
Farmer boy.
Yeah, partly.
So Alex, tell me something about, since 2004 to now, you've been doing so many different things. If you want to give a general overview of where you've been, of what you've been up to from 2004 on. That's when you retired. You retired in 2004, right? I think we retired the same. We went together for the first Olympic together and the last Olympics together. And there's a bit of coincidence. Huh?
Yeah, it's been a long journey. 13 years basically.
Did you think it was gonna take that long to retire? You were 32, man. You're kind of old.
Yeah, I was almost 33.
I was 31.
I was 32. Yeah, full 32 years. But what I did, I still did the work for the IOC. Then I was a member of the supervisory board of Adidas. Adidas, the main company, the headquarters in Germany.
Mm-hmm.
I was doing some work in Russia, and basically keep doing some work in Russia, but I've reduced my duties and time spent at the IOC because of the honorary membership, and I've retired from the Adidas because they vote for you. You get into that board by a vote.
Okay.
The shareholders actually vote for you.
Uh-huh.
So, and then I was asked, because of the change in of the legislation in Germany, so on and so forth, they had to bring more women in. I said, fantastic. So I'm retiring, stepping down. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
But we had a fantastic conversation with the back then CEO of Adidas, Herbert Heine. And I said, no, man, you have to do the work. You have to, fulfill the
all those
legislation
commissions, all
requirements.
those activities, kind of take some time away from the family or from other things that you want to do.
Well, Gustavo, when I was on the coordination commission for Rio Games, I've calculated the time that I've spent away. It was about up to 4 months.
4 months a year.
4 months, yeah. Up to 4 months a year you spent on the road for the IOC.
Yeah, it's a big commitment for somebody to be away from the family, from the business that that makes money for your living and everything.
And I was also chairing. I was not chairing. I was chairing the coordination commission for the Youth Olympic Games in Beijing. So
Yeah, I
not
remember
in Nanjing, the
Yeah.
second Youth Olympic Games, and that kept me also busy.
So today you're out of all the commissions. You're out now. Everything. So you're just at home, kind of like me.
Once a year. Once a year, I have to travel for the IOC session. That's still a compulsory. But this year, the commission, the session was held via internet, via either Zoom or something. I don't remember. And I was busy that day, and I couldn't join the session, so I missed the first session.
So the only travel you had to do was online this year. You missed it. Oh man.
Yeah.
And what did you do instead? I'm sure it was for a good reason.
I was a family issue or something.
Family is always good.
Yeah.
So the time commitment when you're in association, and I've been with you in the FINA association, it wasn't so demanding. It was once a year, but still, a couple of days to go, a couple of days to come back, 4 or 5 to stay there. It's always like it takes a week or 2 weeks, sometimes depending on the championships. Was it more traveling than when you were swimming? 4 months away, it's a lot of traveling. I know you during your career you did a lot of traveling with Gennady and with the Russian team, and you're always like competing, going different places. But time consuming, 4 months away, it's about the same as you had when you swim, or now with more?
When I was competing, I had a good excuse not to come for all the meetings that I was supposed to be at. But when I retired, I had no excuse, so I had to dedicate that particular time which was needed to go and participate at the meetings and participate in the full work of the IOC and commissions.
And working with the commissions, so the IOC, being involved with the Olympics, what's the biggest maybe experience that you got out of all of this? Because you've been involved like deeply with the Rio organization. I participated a little bit, talking to you about that. That was a challenge. You participate. I think you've been in the IOC for how long? For how long you've been in it? Don't laugh.
I've been on the commission for 20 years, and I've been a member of the IOC for 17 years.
So what's the biggest challenge? Talking about IOC, talking about Olympics, and then we have an Olympics that was postponed this year. And for the point of view of postponing Olympics, I was talking to what's his name? I forgot the name of the guy that I was talking to. He said it was much harder. It is much harder to postpone Olympic Games than to cancel it. Does that make sense? Is that something like that, or what are the difficulties of this? It's like a huge issue that we live in now.
Well, by postponing the games, the situation that we're facing now, the both parties, let's say the IOC and the country, they have to pay for the organizing committee to keep on running for 1 more year. That's keeping up the venues at the
big cost.
at the highest level of readiness. It's keeping them for 12 more months, because it's not just the games, it's Paralympic Games, which will be held, I think, 3 or 4 weeks later. And it's a salaries, wages, all the necessary expenses, that associated with, it's very difficult. It's really difficult. And the situation, as you can see now, the situation is not very clear. Whether we will have a vaccine or we will have no vaccine or medication against, this COVID virus. But the ground is very shaky.
I just read something that in Russia people are taking some vaccines. It was in a Brazilian paper. Is that true?
The military has developed something, and they did some testing, and it proved itself to be very efficient. You want some?
Hope yeah, sure. Send it over. I'm locked out. I don't know where.
We can ship
If you can send about 6 doses.
I think I've lost you, Gustavo.
Huh? Excuse me? Excuse me, I'm here. Are you here?
I've lost you for a moment. Yeah.
Okay, now we're back. We're good.
We can make some arrangements.
But talking about the Olympics, do you think today the Olympics will happen, right? We're good for it.
We hope so. We very much hope so, because let's not put the horse behind the carriage. Yeah.
Okay, so let's be optimistic about it, and let's see how that goes. But let's let's talk about a little bit of. Excuse me.
No, very much so. Very much optimistic. Yeah.
Yeah, let's hope that for the best. But let's talk about. And of course, we're just having a conversation. You can bring in any topic you want. I think this is like a free flow. We talked about this on backstage, but I'm going to start. This is about rivalries, of course, and I brought in like 2 videos of the 2 biggest races of my life. Of course, you were in it, which is Barcelona '92 and also Atlanta '96, which I was in the podium with you. And it's funny because in '92 I was 2nd place. There was all that ordeal with the touchpad and everything. We can talk a little bit about that. And then up from '92 to '96, Gary Hall came into the picture, and then it was kind of upsetting because he was beating me. I wasn't very happy, and second, because like Russia-US is such a cool rivalry. It's like, where is this Brazilian in the middle of all this? And it's just Gary, but it's okay. I tried to beat both of you guys all the time, and I beat Gary up to '95, and then 94 he beat me, in '96 he beat me, but '95 in Pan Ams, and then the year before I had some good races with him. But tell me about '92. What do you remember of '92? How was that Olympics for you? You're 20 years old. You're getting there. You're first in the rankings. What I remember is that you, Popov, Biondi, and Stefan Caron, you guys are tied for first place with 49-18, something like that.
Yeah,
and I was
exactly
fourth. And I was fourth with 49-48. So, and then we show up there. It's like we're the 2 youngest guys, 19 and 20, and the other 2 are old farts. They have like a crane. They're walking like and it's like these guys are gonna break if they go to swim. They can't swim. They're too old, because everybody would quit like 22, 23, 24 max. And these guys are 27-year-olds walking on deck like they're ready to compete. I said, no way, it's impossible. Well, what do you get out of the '92? How was your mind coming in? What did you see? What do you remember?
Well, funny enough, but I had a preliminary heat with Matt Biondi together.
Yeah.
And that was my, I think, either 2nd or 3rd race, not together with Matt, but being in a competition with Matt. I never raced against him, but I've been at the same competitions with him, and we raced different times. We never raced each other.
'91, you didn't go to World Championships, did you?
No,
in
no,
Perth?
I didn't make the team.
God.
Didn't make the team. First meet we had together was in Bonn at the World Cup, and Matt was there as a guest of honor, and he didn't really pay too much attention. And then second time we had a race again. Well, we were the same competitions, was in Monte Carlo, same year, 1991, and they had an exhibition race. There was Matt, I think Giorgio Lamberti, Tommy Werner, the Swedish guy, and there was someone else. I don't remember. There was a fourth guy.
Was a Swedish guy, you said?
Tommy Werner.
Oh, Tommy Werner. Yes.
Yeah, Tommy was there, and there was someone else. I don't remember. There were four of them, and funny enough, but the times that they swam, I would have beaten them because I swam 25:22 and 25:11. They came back, so I won 50.33, and they went something like 50.7. And Mike Fibbins, remember Mike Fibbins?
I remember, crazy guy.
Mike was, we were competing, against each other. We were racing together then, and he said, "Oh man, you should have been in that race, and you would have beaten them, very easily." And I said, "Listen, they're too big for us, and so on. So let's stay here, very low key, compete. We have fun here." And the next race I had with Matt was in the preliminary in the heats of 92, 100 freestyle. He was in lane, I believe he was in lane 4 and I was in lane 5. Because, I had, the trials that we had and I didn't swim that fast. I think I swam 50.7 or something. And I was seated together with Matt, I think, in the fastest heat. And funny enough, but on the second 50, Matt couldn't kind of stay, keep up with me. And I'm like, wow, he's
Always
underplaying.
going up too fast. He was going up just too hard in the first 50.
Yeah, Matt, I just stayed with him. And about the second 50, he couldn't keep up. And I went 49, 24, I think, or something like that. I don't remember. And Matt was like 49, 54. And but Matt qualified 6th, if I'm not mistaken, 5th or the 6th. He was in lane 6. So
this is what competition?
In the 100
in
freestyle.
Barcelona.
Yeah.
You're qualifying first. You're lane 4.
No, Matt was in lane 6.
Matt was 6.
He qualified 5th. Yeah. But then approaching the final, whom I remember very clearly, Quaresi.
Really?
Quaresi was very. I met him somewhere before, and he was so emotional, and I definitely met him after the race. But I remember Quaresi. He was speaking very emotionally, very loudly, waving his arms around.
Hugging you.
Guy? Yeah. But then, when because we didn't basically know each other, first time I met you was probably that final. And there were some other guys that I knew from the European Championships a year before, and that's about it. I never met you, never met John Olsen before.
John Olsen.
Was it John Olsen? No, it wasn't John Olsen.
John Olsen was in lane 3, and Stefan was in lane 2. And then I was in lane 5. 6 was
Matt Biondi.
Plinio is on the backstage. Put the line up for us here. It will help us out. He'll figure it out. I think Tommy was in the final. Prigoda, your friend, Gennady.
He was in lane 7, I think. Gennady was in lane 7.
German Christian Troger, maybe. There was somebody else there. There was
Nils. 50 was Nils Rudolph, I think.
Yeah,
that was such a long time ago. Things are vibe. Christophe Calfayan, I think. Was it?
No, I don't think he was. He was a 50 freestyler, French guy, right?
Yeah. The small, the short one.
He was in the 50, not in the 100. But it was a good day because what you said in the morning, you swam next to Biondi, and then I think I was in the heat before, and no, I was in the heat too, wasn't I? I don't remember. Plinio will give us. We have got Plinio here in the backstage. You tell us exactly what happened. But then when I swim in the morning, I noticed one thing, and I don't know because you're always a back half guy. You know, you could win the 50. And I was like, that always like, what is this guy doing? You know, because you know you're fast in the 50 with those long arms, just going slow, and those big calves kicking. You know, I was so impressed with your calves. Your calves like this. His shoes like this big. I was like, what the hell, man? What did you guys do to? What did he do to get this calf so big? And then you're like you're fast in the 50. You won in 92, but it was after the 100. But you won the 50, and you're fast in the 50, and you go out slow. So I knew that about you. So he's going to go out slow, and then he's going to come back, you know, a sub 25. Nobody would do a sub 25 coming home. And you're like 25 flat, 25 1, 24 9. It was like, oh, man, that's incredible. And Biondi, on the other hand, in the morning, I think he was a little bit like he wasn't, you know, on his A game. So I saw him going very hard in the beginning. So he'll go out fast and die at the end. I had that very clear in my head. And Stefan, I didn't know what Stefan was going to do. Stefan was more like a race, kind of like mine. And so I go to the final. I step on the block. No, before the final, something that I remember. We're in the ready room, and I think I said hi to you or something. But when I got to the ready room, I was fourth in the ready room because you, Stefan, and Biondi were there before. And I was like, man, I'm fourth already. My biggest competition. You don't remember? And you used to do like you're stretching like this. Biondi was licking his glasses, you know, blah, 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 blah. And Stefan had his a towel on his head. And I was like, man, what do I do now? They're doing the coolest thing that has to do in the ready room, which is lick, stretch, and concentrate. And I think I hit something, make a huge noise, dropped some banner that was like right next to me. And I was so embarrassed about the noise because you looked at me like this, you know, like a Russian guy. Like, ah, what is this guy doing? And I was so embarrassed that I put the towel on my head, I licked my glasses, and I stretch, you know, looking at everything at the same time. Do you remember that, or it's just me? Do you remember the ready room?
I remember the call room. Well, the ready room.
Yeah, the call room.
It was, you know, there were few corners around. You know, it was not just one big room. You know, there was some small rooms, kind of.
Yeah, we lost.
Sorry, I had a phone call. There were some rooms connected to each other, and I met, and who else? Somebody else was hiding from the rest of the final, from the rest of the guys.
Like somebody from the race.
Yeah. Matt Biondi. They were separately in one place somewhere, hiding from each other, from the rest of the final. And I was going around looking for them, you know. And
so I'm telling the wrong story?
No.
I thought he was in the same room. Oh, no, right before the race, he was in the same room.
Yeah, there was the waiting
yeah.
room was it had few corners, and you know people could hide there because that was the configuration of it. Mm-hmm. And when I got in there and I couldn't find Matt, and I went to look for him, you know, because I knew that he was fairly strong, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And I needed to check what he's doing, how his readiness is for the race. But my memories of the particular of the 100 race is that I got off off a good start. You know, I had a good start.
Yeah.
First 25, I was more or less, you know, half the body length in front, and then I've dropped the speed. I just completely stopped swimming, like racing. You know, like I just kept cruising. You know, easy.
You're scared of me or something?
I was behind you. I was 6. Was 6 on the wall. My feet were 6 on the wall. And then when I got from the turn, I'm like, oh, I was about half the body length behind you. I'm like, oh, I gotta do something about it.
Otherwise, I'm not gonna be.
At about 15 meters mark, you know, I realized that, you know, I gotta do something. So I put my head down and I swam about 10 meters, no breathing. And then I took a breath and I saw that I already overtook you at about 75, 77 meter mark. And then I saw Matt, which who he was about, I don't know, maybe not far from. He was lane after you, and he was not too much in front of us. So and then I took maybe. Yeah.
Go ahead.
And then I took maybe 2 to maybe 3 more breaths, and then I went, put head down, and went to the wall.
Let me show the race here. I'm not gonna put the whole race. I'm gonna put the going into the turn. And Plinio, can you share this for us here? Because I'm not gonna see myself. Okay, so this is what happened right here. And
yeah.
So this is you right here, the big stroke.
Yeah.
And then beyond is about half a body ahead of us. We are head to head. John Olsen is here. I don't know this guy, but he is Stefan was here.
Stefan.
So I'm a little bit ahead of you, and Biondi, it's half a body ahead of us. And see what happens here. Let's go. And then we're going to the turn.
Very lazy and lousy turn. You see, I'm behind you. Big time.
Look at this. This is big because you're like 6th, like you said. You went into lazy on the turn.
Yeah.
And Biondi was like, man, he thought it was like a 75-meter race, I think. And then he goes. Big stroke. And that comes Popov. Look at these legs. And this is me right here. And this is Biondi.
Yeah, that is you. Oh, and that's it. You know, this is it. Matt's kind of got tired at about 15-meter mark. we equaled with Matt, and then he lost the race at about 85-meter mark.
Let's go back here. This is about this is the 15 right here. This is the 15. And look at this. This is you just going strong here.
Yeah, well, accelerating.
Yeah, you started way before, because after you turn, you just like, I got a 50 to go, so I'm better sprint this thing. Yeah, and I'm keeping it up too. But Biondi, he's
still in front of you.
Yeah, he's half a body in front of me, and maybe like a third in front of you. He's still like winning this thing by the 15-meter. And then let's see the end. That goes Popov.
And Matt starts to swim at the same place, you know, starts spinning arms and not moving, and you just run past him. And that's this kind of, this feeling, when you're not, when you either start too fast. Well, let me put it this way: 100 freestyle, you win on the last 25 meters. That's it. That's the secret to any 100-meter race. Be it freestyle,
your phone is black now, Alex.
What do I do?
We can hear you.
This is crazy. This is crazy. How do I bring the picture back in?
Is there somebody calling you?
Well, somebody called me a couple of times while we were speaking, and that's why I've lost. Let me get off and then get back on again, huh?
Okay, do that.
Yeah. Oh. How do I do this?
For you guys that are watching, waiting for Popov to come back. Here we go. Popov is back on. That was quick.
Good to see you again.
Good. Hey, how are you? Let's talk about rivalries.
Yeah.
That was very quick. See, you're a sprinter. Even though your stroke you could put a good 200, but you never did.
No. Too painful. No. Too painful. You know that better than I am.
Yes. That hurt so much. But we're going to the last couple of strokes, and you just like you had energy. If you had gone a little bit quicker on the first 50, maybe a 48 would be 48.7. You could have done 48.7 that swim.
Yeah, well, I could have.
Maybe
just too much could have.
Too much could have.
Yeah, yeah.
And
The fact is that we swam what we swam 49.02. You went 49.20 something.
49, 43.
43. Ah,
And then
and Stefan
51, 53, and 54 on the sequence. That was a very tight race. I mean,
and
that was easy. It was easy for you. That was ahead of everybody. But for the rest of us, man, we had to work.
well, yeah, and especially the guys behind the scene had to work because remember the scoreboard did not work. Especially your touchpad did not work properly.
Yeah.
And when the race finished, there were only 7 results appeared on the scoreboard, and you were not there. You know, you were dead last with no timing.
What did you?
And
What it was like? You know, we knew you had won the gold medal, which is fine. Everybody saw it, but the visual was very hard to see who got second or third and fourth.
Yeah.
And then you guys went to the ceremony room,
Yep.
to get the medals.
Yeah.
You, John, and Stefan.
Yeah.
And I went to the warm-up pool.
Yeah.
And I was there for 40 minutes.
And we were there.
My question is to you.
Yeah.
What the hell did you guys do for 40 minutes in the ceremony room? Because I have my idea. You guys had a little beer, had some fruit, water, stretched, looked at the medals,
Licking goggles.
some massage.
Huh? No, what we had to do. Obviously there was a Soviet TV crew right there because it was the first time in the history of Soviet back then, Soviet-Russian sport, that sprinting event was won by a Russian.
Uh-huh.
So there was a crew waiting for me there. So I had a little chit chat with them, and then we were standing and talking with Stefan, and still because the results were not announced official, we were still waiting for the official result of the final of 100 freestyle. And John finished third. Stefan was second. And when they brought it back up, the result of the 100-meter freestyle, the announcer, the guy behind the microphone, said that the results of 100 freestyle are official and on the scoreboard. We stepped outside just to watch the results. And then John Olsen was not very happy. He was completely pissed off. And Stefan said, "Oh shit,
Did he say something you remember, or he was just pissed and left?"
No. This is what I remember. John was pissed off and just turned around and walked away. But Stefan said, "Listen." Stefan said, "Oh shit, I'm third, but that's still okay. I'm still on the podium, still the medal, which is good." And then we were waiting for you to come, and this is the second time when I saw Quaresy jumping out of his pants because
now he was really jumping.
Brazilian finished second on the most prestigious probably race of the swimming program, and and then this is when we officially met. Gustavo, Alex, Stefan, so on and so forth.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you what I remember. I finished the race. I'm 8th. I knew the thing didn't work. I got out of the pool and I go to they put the cool guys that get the medals to the ceremony room, and they send me to the warm-up area. Takes me 20 minutes to get to the warm-up area. I have to go through the media and to the coaches. And by the time I get to this place, to the media and going into the warm-up area, they announce, because first they announced me tied with Biondi in 4th. They said 4th place. And I was like, shit, man, that's easy. Keep the podium, tie with Biondi, 4th, it's noble. 4th place at the Olympics is not too shabby. But I know I had beaten Biondi because when I finished, I saw that I beat Biondi, and I knew I lost to you. So I was ahead of Biondi. I could be 4th and him 5th, but not tied. I knew that. And then 20 more minutes, for some reason, I was sitting down there, almost crying, They announced that I was second. I was like, what the hell, man? Second. And then today, when I think about those moments, and I was like, 20 minutes I go from 8th to 4th, 20 minutes I go from 4th to 2nd. Why don't you wait another 20 and I can beat Popov? It would be perfect. I would have a gold medal. It would be awesome.
Oh, I did why they disqualify me for false starting or something?
Oh, it was something. I mean, I had the time. I mean, you know, how long is that? 1992 up to today, man. I have my medal here. Yeah, I brought my medal here. Silver medal.
Fantastic.
It's here. You know, I was a champion this day. It was you know, it was tough. It was tough.
Gustavo,
But it
it's not silver, it's white gold.
Huh? It's
It's
white
not
gold.
silver
That's
medal,
right.
it's white gold, yeah.
But I remember when we started to do, when I went to talk to you to congratulate you or something. Your Russian, I remember, was very good. You spoke very good Russian at 20, but your English, man, you had no idea what you're saying, because I said, "Hey, man,
No.
congratulations!" You know, American accent. You know, I go to school in the U.S. and everything. Hey, man, congratulations, good job. And you're like, "Oh, ushka badushka." You said something like that.
Exactly, yeah.
Is that a word, ushka badushka? Because
Ушко на
Pichek.
подушку, это
Oh yeah,
this
so
is
you taught
when
me that. I think you're tired. Ushka and the badushka. You're tired. Do you remember that? We're talking and you couldn't speak. We couldn't talk.
no, that's for sure. I could not communicate. That was my biggest problem, that I could not communicate. That's, yeah, I agree.
Yeah, and then the next year in '93, I think we met in Monaco. I don't know where we met, in some swim meet. And I think, when did you go to Australia? Right in this, after '92, right? '92,
I
'93?
went January of '93, yes.
January. So then we met in some competition in '93, and your English was already better, and then we, you know, communicated a little bit. So that was great. But but you broke the world record in Monaco '93, right?
94.
Oh, in
The
'94.
next year. The next year, yes. The next year. That year, '93, in Cannes, I swam 48.9. 48.93 or 94, but the weather was absolutely terrible. I remember, windy, rainy, shocking. And then the next year in '94, I swam, in Monaco, 48.21.
Yeah,
But
I
also
wasn't.
I also swam short course 46.7 that particular year.
Yeah, that was good. You broke my record had been broken already, because I held the world record for the 100 free short course for maybe a few months, 47.97. And you know whose record I broke?
Matt
Michael
Bianchi's.
Rose. Remember him?
Wow. Yeah.
He was a 48 flat at some point of his life, and nobody cared about short course back in the early '90s.
Yeah.
And I went in and said, "Man, I'm gonna get this," and I went 47.97. That was I had a good experience for short course, which is go ahead.
in the US, and I broke a record in Beijing on the 1st of January. Hong Kong, on the 1st of January.
The 100
I
free
swam
short course.
47.84, and then in Beijing, a few days later, I swam 47.83, and then few months later, a couple of months later, I think in Italy, I swam 47.12, and the next
And what was
weekend,
your fastest time ever in the 100 free short course? It was what?
46.7.
Oh, 46.7.
Yeah.
But 48.3 is much better than 46.7. That's
40.
maybe,
You mean long course?
yeah,
It's
your long course record.
it's more or less
Yeah,
the same.
I like the 2-second rule. You know, the 2-second rule, it works.
Well,
But it's
usually
1.7. It's 1.6.
in Russia we calculated at about 1.5.
Yeah, that's because you guys don't know how to turn. I'm just kidding.
Sure. I can prove that I don't know how to turn.
No,
Every
but
time
you're off the wall, man. After you turn and then you get the motor going, man. Then that's it. We didn't use the underwater kick for a while, and then when you start using it, that was then we couldn't be, because you go off the wall, flutter kick, you know, 2 or 3 or 4, and you're already giving the first stroke with all those waves coming into you. And then when Michael Klim comes in, he goes 15-meter underwater, and all those guys like, man, he's just like breaking out all the way to the 50-meter, you know, going under the wake, and we were like, incredible. That was a good adjustment. You adjusted well because you had a good underwater kick. Fernando had a good underwater kick. My underwater kick sucked. Still does. I still train my underwater kick, you know, to make it better.
feel sorry for you.
Me too. I was like, oh man, let's see if you go.
Gustavo, I don't swim at all anymore.
You know?
No.
Because I was about to call you out for a challenge.
No way. Only
25
leisure swim. Only leisure. No way. I forgot how to dive. Honestly,
Really?
the other day I get on the block to do the start, man, and I was shaking. I keep, I'm starting to forget how to do things.
That's probably my chance, man. Let's do it. I'm gonna kick your ass. Let's go. Let's go.
I just say yes, you win.
I remember I beat you 3 times. How do you take that?
97. 97 was the first one.
Because I was thinking, I mean, I got my ass kicked by you all the time, the meets and stuff. But I remember the 3 times that I beat you. 97 was in
São Paulo.
No, it was. Oh yeah, it was in São Paulo the first time. Did you let me win that day? Or you didn't let me win?
You were coming out of the.
I need to know that. I need to know. No, you did not.
You were coming out of your nationals, and I was still recovering from that injury from '96.
Yeah, it was. The time was. I used to swim in season. That was like in the in early season, but I did rest a little bit. I think we both went 51 low.
No, and, you went 49. No,
I think 49. You went.
No, I went 50 point something. You went 49.7. I think I went 50.2 or 50.3. Yeah. I don't
remember being that fast. But I remember the race was like more like a show, like exhibition than anything else. But it was a home turf, my home club. Everything worked out. And then I remember racing you in Toulouse in some event. I think you were doing like 100K a week when you raced there.
Oh yeah.
And we didn't get much publicity for that. I tried to tell people that I did, but nobody, it didn't go viral. But then I think it was in 98 or 97, the World Cup in Paris. That World Cup in Paris, I beat you and Peter in the same event. That was a good one. I think you got second or third. There was a short course World Cup, and you didn't use to swim to compete short course World Cups, but then one time you did, and that was interesting. That was my third win.
Then it must have been basically 2004 when it's on 49.4 or something.
No, that was short course meters. That was 97 or 98 or 99. Like it wasn't those years like past 96, but those are the 3 times that I remember. There was no other. But thanks for being a great rival. And even when you lost, you're still my friend and you liked me. It was good.
That's what sport is about, huh? It's not about winning, it's about friendship.
I was listening to your interview to Brad, and he asked, and you said that you don't know what happened because I could have been a little bit better, in training and stuff. And I went in to ask my coaches, like, what could I have done? And nobody knew the answer. It's like, and then I told Brad, I don't know if you watched my interview, I said, every time I jump in the water, I try to beat everybody that was there, not just Alex, but everybody else. And everybody I jump in the water to train, it was the same thing. So I figure, like, I respect the results of whoever beat me because you did a whole lot of training, a whole lot of yardage, all that. And I respect the effort and the result that you guys did. So, like, did I want to win a gold medal? Of course. And I tried every time I was in there. But if you could change my training, you don't even know exactly what I did. Would you tell me not to swim the 200 because that's how you feel about the 200? Maybe my 100 would be a little bit better. Maybe that's the only thing that I could think of.
Well, Gustavo, first of all, you needed to improve your kicking. Kicking is the key. When Gennady, my coach, and I went to Australia, the philosophy of Australian coaches was that kicking was not important. Because legs, they take up so much energy, oxygen, so on and so forth. You get tired, and there is no benefit to swimming, to your particular technique. And we proved otherwise. We proved that kicking is as important as pulling and coordination work. And Australian coaches started to use and improve, the kicking work of their swimmers. And good swimmers now, without kicking, forget it. Huh?
Yeah.
You cannot win.
I see. Because you with a kickboard, you could go in a 50 or 100. What's your best time with a kickboard? You could go like a 27 in a kickboard?
27.5 or so. 27.
I couldn't break a 36.
Wow, man, 36 is nothing.
My son goes 31 or
Oh,
30. He goes like a 31. My son is like, and it was I paid attention to kicking, but just like long kicking, not like really power kick. Maybe that's one thing that could have improved a lot. And if you look at the bodies of the swimmers back then, you see like me, I think me, Stefan, and Biondi, we had the same. Even though Biondi had a little in 88, he had stronger. He was in a stronger build. He was like in better physical shape. His legs were strong. You could see it. But if you look at my physique, I had a lot of upper body, but my legs were really lacking, strength. And maybe I solved a little bit that in 96, but in 92, definitely not.
And this is the key, and also the flexibility of your legs, of your ankles in particular, ankles and knees.
Yeah, I remember that.
This is where you get the transformation of the effort from,
Yeah.
Or
well, let me ask you this: what best race you ever swam? Best race, maybe not the best time because you broke world records. You had the best, the perfect race, but the best race that you were like competing with other people. That was the best race. And also, what's the best workout you've ever done? The hardest workout? Giving some ideas of what you did. Like, what comes up to your mind?
Best race now. Best workout. Colorado Springs. Altitude camp. We came to a session. Gennady wrote it on the whiteboard. I nearly started to cry because the amount of work that I had to do was absolutely enormous. And I came up to him and said, Gennady, can I do a get out swim? We used to practice that, a get out swim. And Gennady says, you can do the 50 freestyle under 22. It was not the best timing to do this.
Long course,
yeah. Long course. Jeez. We did it on start though. On start.
Not okay. So you gain a bit. You gain the. Okay.
Yeah, and
so but it's still if you go 21.9, you swim in at 22.4, 22.5 in workout.
Yeah, and that's no warm up, no nothing. You get your swimming trunks on, you put your goggles on, and then you go. There is no warm up.
I heard something about. Okay.
And I said, okay, let's go. And he was like, are you serious? Are you gonna go? I said, yeah, I'll try. I went 21.4.
Wow.
I went 21.4. And obviously, I didn't do the full workout. I only swam about 3 kilometers after that. I did some like warm up and first set with the guys, and then I went to the shower. And then who else? A swimming team from Auburn was there, and member of the team was Bill Pilzik. Remember, he won the 50 in 98, and also David Salo, and there was another coach, and they all witnessed it. They got it. They timed me from the other side of the pool because Gennady was walking kind of next to me, and he timed me correctly. But the guys timed me from the other side of the pool. They got me at 21.6, I think, or 21.5. Bill Pilzik turned around and walked away, and I think he never came back to training anymore.
That's it's very tough for competitors to see that, huh? Being on deck and seeing something incredible. But was that made to suit? It was like, was it made on purpose, or you provoked Gennady to do this get out swim in front of Bill, for example?
No. It was my wish to do because I didn't want to swim 6.5 kilometer session. Out of which I think about 3.5 to 4,000 was a work, like pure work, like a set. I didn't want to do that, and I said, Gennady, can I go get out swim? And he said, okay, under 22 freestyle. And he thought that I would accept it, I would reject it, and I said, no, I'm going.
So your toughest workout was the easiest one because you only had to do 150.
Yeah,
You
but
had to go
I and officially before I swam the 50 freestyle under 22 was only at Barcelona Games, and I never managed to swim it under 22 since then. And
Yeah.
he said under 22. I'm like, oh, okay.
And the nicest race, the race that's on your mind is like, oh man, this is a cool race.
Probably Monaco when I set the world record, because I'll tell you a little story. What really motivated me to swim that particular race very fast. Remember Vlad Pushnenko?
Of course, his daughter swims with my son in Michigan.
Okay, oh, good, fantastic.
Yeah, we get in contact all the time. He sends me videos. He goes there. He's a good guy.
Okay, so the story is the following. We, after Monte Carlo meet, this was our sixth competition in a row. Sixth place that we had to compete. And after that, we were scheduled to go to Santa Clara for another competition. And after that, we had to go back. I don't remember. That 94, we had to go back to Russia for the Goodwill Games. And then after that, back to Australia to get ready for the World Championships in Rome in September.
Awesome.
So, and Gennady came to me and he said, listen, Alex, we have to finish this competition cycle or competitive cycle with a good result. He didn't mention the world record. He said, if you will manage to get a good result, then you don't have to work, you don't have to swim 6 kilometers a session in Santa Clara to maintain your level and to keep on going. You can just do 4 kilometer session, like twice a day, just to keep it up. You don't have to improve anything. And that difference between 6 and 4 kilometer really motivated me. And you just don't know what the session of Gennady might look like at 6 kilometer and at 4 kilometers. And that really motivated me. So I went back to the hotel, and there's a curtain which is in the way. I'm coming closer to the window because for some reason it's getting a little darker here. It might start raining. And then I went back, and I had an early night sleep. I had because my legs were so heavy. I went and had a.
Of course, the calves are this big, man. Of course, it's gonna be heavy.
But my thighs are skinny, yeah? And I had because my legs were heavy, and I, in training, the day before, I couldn't really swim really fast from push. I went 25.5 from push, and I was pushing shit uphill, and I'm like, wow, man, and you want me to swim fast the next day? So I went back to the hotel. I had a warm bath just for my legs. I only had maybe 10 inches of water, 15, 20 centimeters of water in a bath. And I sat there, just warmed up my legs, and went to bed, had an early night sleep. Fantastic. Woke up the next morning, didn't tell to anyone what I was supposed to do or what I'm aiming at. Swam 50 point something in the morning, went back to the hotel, had a little shave, because we were coming out of the nationals or World Championship trials. Finished, did a little shave, and then didn't tell to anyone. And then in the evening, I just went for it. I knew that my problem is the second 25. I was not worried about my second 50, but I was worried about my second 25, so that I would not drop the speed. Yeah. And I put my feet at 23.33 on the wall and came back in 24.88.
That's awesome. That's easy.
Sounds like
piece of cake. But that day you're racing yourself, which is a great situation to motivate. And of course you had the workout that you're gonna drop. And anytime we can, and Gennady's workout was always very intense and very long, for what I understand. And I've seen you talk about that. Going, I think you've done 120K one week at some point, 10 workouts, 10,000s. That's maybe once you did that.
No, 100, not 120. 100 kilometer week we did, yeah.
100 kilometers. That's amazing. Like today, we watched somebody that swims 100 free these days. If they do a 50, 60K in a week, they're like, man, it's too much because the intensity level. You know, there's no the aerobic work is different. The workout outside the water is completely different, and everything changed.
Yeah. Well, gym work is completely different now.
Oh, it makes you so much stronger. I see my son. I went to work out with my son during the quarantine, and then I worked out one day, and then I was like, I was really going. This guy's not gonna beat me. I'm competitive, and then I work out with him, going hard. The next day I couldn't swallow. I think I had some muscles here in the back. I don't know if I had a sore throat or if I had some, like my whole neck and my whole back was like I had to take 2 weeks off. And he was competing. Alex, I want to show you one more video, and we're going to talk briefly so you can go towards the end of our conversation here, which has been great. It's great to reconnect with you, and it's maybe my biggest race of my life. 92 was the biggest, of course, because of the whole scenario, but 96 was a little bit different of a race, and I'd like to show you a little bit of that. So Plinio, can you help me here? Take a look of this race, and let's talk a little bit about that. This is going into the turn of the 100, of course, and you're in lane 4, and you got Gary in lane 5. I'm in lane 3, and Hoogie's here. Yeah, and then you got, I think. Go ahead.
No, Peter. Yeah, Peter was in lane 2. Yeah, I remember him. He went 40.02, I think, or something like that.
He was 47.17, and then Fernando was here. I think he was 5th or 6th, and the other guys here. But let's see this turn. Let's see how it goes. And Gary is in the picture now. Great competitor. Yeah. And he's ahead of you.
Yeah.
That's stroke by stroke, man. Look at this view. Look at this. You're like ahead in front of us two here, but it's still not it's not decided yet. Well, maybe for you it was.
And it comes to last 25 meters. This is where you. And as I told you before, it comes to the last 25 meters, and this is where you.
So this is a very head shot. I'm a little bit behind Gary, and you're a little bit in front of him.
Yeah, just in my.
Okay.
I'm a little bit in front.
Did you? Here you're head to head with Gary. You beat him by 1/10. Were you in doubt?
700ths of a second.
7/100. Yeah. 74 and 81 or something like that, right? 82.
Yeah, 81.
So you had to be quick here. Look at this last stroke. Gary's already stretching, and you're in the last stroke on the left arm. So he glides into the wall, huh? A little bit. I hadn't noticed this.
This is where he lost. I didn't actually.
What?
I didn't look at this race this close. Actually, never. This is first time.
You're head to head, and this is already Gary finishing his stroke, and your left arm is the footage is not that great, and I'm right here.
Yeah.
And Peter is here on lane 1. I think this is Busquets, the Puerto Rican guy.
Oh,
this is Peter right here. Because he was 4th, and Fernando is in the side here. But look at this, you and Gary, man, that's amazing. Look at that. It's almost like Mirolavkovic and Michael Phelps going into to the last stroke. Your thoughts on 96?
Yep.
Your thoughts on 96? Well, how was that? Swimming in the U.S., Gary competing against
tough.
me.
That was very, very tough, to be honest. It's like a mathematical progression, from one games to another. It becomes so much tougher because you have so much expectation or expectations coming from your teammates, from your country, from the media, from yourself, from your friends, and so on and so forth. and also the TV attention is on you because you won the previous games, and everybody wants or expects you to win the next one, and yeah, it is tough. And also it was tough because remember the stand. There was a huge stand with American fans on one side, and there was a little one on the other hand with the rest of the world. And the wow, the roar, coming from that big American stand was like really destroying. If you remember that, when they introduced Gary, and the roar was just like the sound wave was like boom, crushing everything on its way. And yeah, that was tough. That was psychologically tough to stay focused.
Yeah, it was a great race. I remember going in. I trained so hard for that Olympics, and I think that Olympics in '96 compared to the other Olympics '92 and also World Championships '94, which I was third to you and Gary, was the same. World Championships and Olympics was the same podium. There was a little shift in my training. There was, instead of training for the 50, 100, and 200, kind of trying to push everything into there, I trained for the 100 and the 200. So when I did that with Coach Troy, which today coaches Caleb Dressel, he, I think it was a little bit like, I don't care about the 50. Let's go about the 1 and the 2. And I think that made it a little more specific. And my times are quicker. My times are faster in both events. Got lucky in the 200 because the 200, there was not many people going 146s that year. We had in 92 was much faster than in 98. I mean, I was silver medal 148.0. Pichenko, that was has been 147 and been fourth in the past, and 147 won that event. So I got kind of lucky, but it was my best time, and whatever. But going into the 100, I was very confident. I thought I could beat you guys. I thought I could beat you, and I swam to beat you guys like very, very, very hard. My goal was to go like around 48.8, I think was my goal, and I thought 48.8 could have won because the final was anything can happen in the finals.
Yeah.
But after the event, after the race, I was very happy. Very happy to be a bronze medalist and to be around you guys.
Well, that was a tough race, huh? It was these days, if you look at the competitions, the races are becoming so much tougher. All the competitors are, swimming tighter and tighter. The time difference is like hundreds of a second, like really, really moments, that are separating the first and the eighth. And back in nowadays, we were still split a little bit. 1, 2, 3, 4 might be very close to each other, and then the rest of the final is a few tenths of a second behind. And Peter was how fast did you swim in the final? 49.
I was 49.02 and Peter was
49.02. You were swam exactly the time when of Barcelona, I think, of my time in Barcelona.
Exactly.
Yeah. And Peter was not far behind you. So it was really tight, very close race.
The difference between Gary and me was the difference between me and
Peter.
And Peter. And he was 17 years old. It's like unbelievable. Yeah. You're a gold medalist. He could have been a medalist with 17 in the 100 free, which is a tough event. You don't see many swimmers with that capability to being a teenager medalist. That young. I mean, I was 19 in 92, but it's you see Michael Phelps 15 being in the finals. You don't see many 17, 16 and years old. Yeah, Thorpe, yeah. Even Michael Kim was still, trying to.
Klimi was in Barcelona, in Atlanta in 1996. He was there, but he didn't have a great race.
Australia didn't have a good race, good meet, huh?
No. But 2 years later, the World Championships in Perth, it was a completely different team, wasn't it?
Definitely. Yeah. Then you saw a lot of great results.
Yeah, and a lot of new faces. About 75% of the team were new.
Mm-hmm.
Of swimmers, they were new in the field, and that was an extremely tough race. First, psychologically, to stay focused on the race, That was not easy for me. I don't know what about you, but for me it was tough. But
Yeah,
after that, it just became like a walk in the park. I was so confident about 50, and I don't know if you saw the race. I was last to get off the block. I was
I
so
don't remember
slow.
the specifics, but you're always slow from the blocks, and that seemed. But after you get into the water and your legs start going, it was unbelievable. But off the block, yeah, that's in 98 when you lost to Bill. Bill was very quick off the block, and when he
Yeah.
won that race, he had a head start and he did it very
Yeah.
well.
Сюда.
Who was that?
Yeah. That was my it's my little daughter, Mia.
Oh, hello, Ushka Badushka. That's the only thing I know.
Подушка,
speak English.
подушка на подушке. Это Густаво. Помнишь, she was
Oh,
too
how are
young
you?
to remember. Last time you met her, she was in Barcelona in
She's the
13.
baby.
Yeah,
She's
but
the
now
baby.
she's a little young lady.
Oh, that's so nice. Beautiful, beautiful. Nice to see you. But hey, Alex, going into the end of our conversation here, we have I wanted to do under an hour, but it's impossible to do under an hour with you. You keep going. The stories, the memories. But give us some good lessons that you've learned through your years in swimming and rivalries and friendship. What can you tell me? Some things that I don't know that comes through your head when you think about your swimming career, when you think about everything that life have given you in terms of opportunities and the opportunities that you took with your hands, with your training to make those things reality. What are the lessons that comes to your head and you can tell people that are watching us?
Well, Gustavo, you see, the thing is that with these kind of years of experience, you learn to get positive, even if the situation is negative. Even if you lose, you still try to get positive result. You do the homework, you do the realization why you didn't succeed, you didn't do this and you didn't do that, and then you go home with a positive impact. Influence. And also respect for your opponents, no matter what the outcome of the final or the semi-final is. Still respect them. And friendship. That leads us to friendship. These are the actually three mottos of the Olympic movement: excellence, friendship, and respect. And this that I could only say that these are the first three things that I would mention that I've learned from swimming, from sport, not just swimming.
Awesome.
And then you say discipline, then you say self-management, so on and so forth. But friendship, respect, and try to be better every time. By saying try to be better, because you are putting the responsibility on yourself and not blaming the others. If you did not succeed, okay, this is my fault. It's not the fault of my coach. I did not do everything what was needed. So in order to succeed and be better, you go back home, sit down, scratch the back of your head, maybe drink some vodka or two, and say, gee, man, what should I do to improve myself? And then you come to a conclusion. And
Awesome.
and also, there is no easy way in sport. There is no easy way. As I say, if you want to climb Mount Everest, you have to put the backpack behind your back, on your shoulders, and step by step, from whatever the bottom level of that mountain is, you step by step going up that big mother of hill and
Awesome.
climbing all the way up. And in sport, that's exactly the same. There is no shortcut. You cannot take a lift, you cannot take a helicopter ride, because it's not going to be the same. But when you do get to the top, the joy, you can probably imagine, what the joy is when you get there and it's like, wow, man, you're on the top of the mountain Everest and there is no one around you.
For me, beautiful words, Alex. When you're talking about the Olympic movement, you don't need to be an Olympic to live the values that the Olympism, the Olympic movement kind of provides, because it's within the sport. You know, we participated in the Olympics, and you and I, we swam the first Olympics together in '92. Didn't know each other, could not communicate, could not talk to each other. It was just like a handshake. That's the maximum that we would do. Up to 2004, after was the last, we medaled in every single Olympics, the two of us, the same Olympics. I was a bronze medalist in 2000, and you a silver medal in the 100 free. But in '92, '96, in 2000, we medaled together. 2004, we didn't medal, but we're there. I think you're in the same semifinals on your events. But we ended our career with this exactly values that you just mentioned. You're talking about respect, working with excellence, making friends, which is what we have here, and I think it's great. And also, what you say at the end here, it's wonderful, which is it's a great message for whoever is watching to whatever business people are doing today. Take care of your own life. If you make a commitment with something, if you decided to make, if you decide on pursuing something, be committed to it, and it's your responsibility without shortcuts, because the joy and the celebration, it will come throughout our whole life. I mean, we're celebrating here moments from 2000, '92, '96. We've shared beers together in restaurants. We've been together in other situations with family. Our families know each other, and I think that's the beautiful thing. So I appreciate for your time here. Thanks, my friend.
Gustavo, thank you. Fantastic. No, thank you. It's always nice talking to you. Any time of night, any time of the year, any time of the day.
Let's do this again.
Any time of the day. Yeah.
Let's do this again. Don't leave the broadcast. I'm gonna finish with you here. When I end the broadcast, we'll go on backstage, because we're talking the backstage. It's almost like a full event. We're in the backstage. You know, that was great. Blah blah blah. That's awesome.
Okay.
But thank you very much for being with us.
Where's that camera? Yeah.
What? Yes, that was great. All right. Hope you guys enjoyed.
Thanks, champ.
Thank you.